Okay, so here's what we're going to be making today. It is basically a little bit bigger than a 3x4 album, but it's 3 by about 5, we'll say. And it's just a tiny little album. It's a great way to use up scraps. I had the cider and donuts paper from Simple Stories, which I love, love, love. And I wanted to use up all the little bits that I had left. So let me just show you quickly what we're making so you know where you're headed as you go with me through this tutorial. So we're making this little 5-fold album, and it sort of goes like this. So there it is laid out, and each of these flaps opens up, and we have a little windows and flips and flaps. So I'm going to show you how to put the basic foundation together. We'll decorate a little bit. And then at the end, I'll do like a full walkthrough of all sort of the decoration that I did for this album. Okay, so let's get started. So today's materials are going to be a few things. So let's just start at the top here. So you're going to need a piece of ribbon. And I'm not sure how long this is. I'll say it's at least 24 inches because it's going to attach the album and then wrap around it a few times. So grab a piece of ribbon. We're also going to be cutting out a square into one of the cards like this. So this is a 2x3 square, but really anything that can cut out the center of a 3x4 space. So if it's just a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller, that's okay, but you want to be able to cut out the center of this card. So I'm using, this is a Lawn Fawn inside out die, so it has stitches on the outside, so that when I cut out the center it has stitches around that. I'm not sure if you can see that, but we're going to need that for this project. The paper we're using is Simple Stories Cider and Donuts. So this is all I have left of it because I had made an album and a couple of layouts. So I'm going to use my scraps. So this is a great little album for using up your scraps. So I don't have much to show you other than what's left over in this sticker sheet from the kit, but it's the Simple Stories Cider and Donuts line. You're also going to need one piece of plain cardstock or wood grain. So if you've got wood grain, use that. If not, then maybe a brown or a color that coordinates with whatever paper you're using. So there's that. And then just some extras. So I'm going to be inking the edges. So I'll use this Vintage Photo Distress Oxide ink. Whatever brown you have works as well, or you don't have to ink the edges. For my adhesives, I will use double-sided tape and glue. Actually, I'm not sure I'm going to need the double-sided tape, but definitely I'm going to be using the glue. If you have a corner punch or something fancy corner punch, you can go ahead and use that. And then, of course, any ribbon or twine we might use to decorate the album. So I have this big old pile of ribbon here that I picked up at Michael's, and it just has lots of fall colors, so I grabbed that. So that's about it. So let's get started. All right, so of course I didn't say you need a paper trimmer, but we all know you need that. So we're going to start with cutting out the base, and we're going to do two things. You're going to need to cut out 5 cards from your wood grain or plain cardstock that measure 5x3. So let's go ahead and cut out 5 of those. So, and I'm just going to cut out 1, so we can do that together, but you will need 5 in total. Actually, I think I have a scrap here that I can use. So that's a 5x3, make 5 of these. So actually I'm going to cut my 3 first. There we go. Okay, so there's one 5x3, and you're going to go ahead and cut 4 more of those and then just set them aside. So I've cut them earlier today, so there's my 5. So you can pause here and come back when you're done, and we'll continue with the next part. Okay, next we're going to cut the base, and because I'm just using scrap paper, I'm just going to use whatever I have left, but I want to show you something. So this base is what's going to peek through this window that we're going to cut out next, okay? So what you can do is check out some of your 3x3 cards and cut something out from that, like I did with this one. So this is a 3x3 card, and I just cut into the card that was on top of it because that is going to be covered up with this piece, so it doesn't matter. And then you have a really cute peekaboo window there with this in the background. I did some plain as well because I want to maybe use that for photos, or I'll stick something else in there. But just a note that while you're cutting these, you can definitely use some of the 3x4 cards as long as you cut it long enough. It needs to be a 5x3, so you'll have to go an inch into the top card. So again, we're going to cut 5 of these bases, and we're just going to grab our paper, and I'm going to show you one where I'm going to actually cut it so that it's going to be a background. So I like this Let's Get Cozy. So these are already 3 inches, right? Looks like I need to just trim a sliver off the side here. Okay. So I'm going to cut this down like that. And so that's my 3 inches, and now I'm going to turn it, and I need 5. So I'm going to end up cutting off a piece of this card, but that's okay because like I said, you're going to have this piece that covers that top portion up, and then you see Let's Get Cozy. Isn't that cute? So that's just an idea. If you want to leave things plain and just use some patterned paper for these, you can, but you need to cut out 5 of these little background cards. And I just went for my scraps and whatever I had in my pile. So you can pause here and cut out 5 of these from patterned paper, being mindful that you're going to be making what's going to show through this window. Okay, so I've made 2 with the 3x4 cards, and then I just did 3 with patterned paper because I'll decorate those differently. Okay, so go ahead and cut out 4 more, so you should end up with 5 of these little cards that measure 5x3, and then you can come back and we'll continue on to the next part. All right, so let's just check out what you should have so far. You should have 5 cards that are 5x3 in a plain or wood grain. Then you should have 5 cards, also 5x3 in patterned. Now we're going to make this, which is our little shadow box, okay? So I love this pattern, but I want to switch it up. I'm trying to see, why did I pull this out? Never mind. I think I'm going to use this one because I haven't used it yet. So pull this over. Cute little green. This one has some stuff on the back. I'm going to cut from this side, I think, because I like this and I like that. I just usually check out what's on the back and see what I don't mind cutting. So I'll use this piece here, okay? So what you're going to do for this is you're going to cut down a piece that is 6x3 inches, okay? So let's go ahead and cut down our 3 inches. Okay, and I'm going to actually move my blade to 6 so I know how high this is going to go. All right, so there's my 3 inches, and then just turn it sideways and cut it to 6. All right, so there's the card. You're going to make 5 of these as well, but we're going to do one together. All right, so there's my 6x3 inch card. Now I'm going to get my, we're going to score this. What am I doing? So let's score this now. So turn this sideways so that your long side is along the edge of your scoreboard. And this is easy. You're just going to score this at 1 inch. And just in case you're having a fright, my trimmer has a scoring blade on it. So we're going to score this at 1 and at 1.5. And then at 5.5. Okay, now if you're using a directional paper, make sure you put this in the right direction. I did not use any directional papers. There is one with writing on it. Okay, just know that this 1 inch piece is at the top, so you would have it facing this way. But anyway, I'm using that side. All right, so I've scored that at, let me just repeat that, at 1, 1.5, and 5.5. Okay, so we're just going to fold along those score lines just so I can see them. I'm going to open it up again, and now this is the part where we need to cut out our square. So I'm going to take my little die, and I'm centering this in the center between these 2 score lines. I'm essentially have here, I guess this is a 3x4 space. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to fold those back so I can see where to center this. So I'm just going to put this in the center here. Okay, just tape it down. And then, of course, I'm going to open it up before I cut it so I don't cut the whole thing apart. Let me just grab my little spellbinders machine. This is great. I don't get any money from this, but if you haven't got the Platinum Scout, it's so light and portable. I love it so much, and it has a pretty wide base, so bigger than other portable ones I've seen. So anyways, just thought I would share that. Like, this base is 3.5 inches, I think. Yeah, 3.5 inches, so that's pretty good. All right, so we are done with this for a second. I'll just move this to the side. So this is what we should end up with. We have got our card, our little shadow box that we created, so it should look like this. All right, and I'm going to save these because I'll probably use them for embellishment because they have a really nice, they also have some stitching around, which I love. Okay, so pause here and make 5 of these out of whatever patterns you like, and then we'll come back and carry on with the rest. All right, so here are my 5 that I cut out in different patterns. So I'm going to set those to the side, and we have one last piece to cut out, which is easy, and that is our bottom flap. So bring your trimmer back and put these over here. This is the first video where I'm cutting everything first, and you'll see why, because I'm always about cut and build, but we have to cut them all first because we're going to approach this a little bit differently. So now I need a bottom flap, and I need that to measure 4 3/4 by 3. Okay, so I'm cutting down my 3 piece here by 4 3/4. Okay, and now you're going to score that at 1/4 inch. Now, I've purposely chosen a directional paper because where you score is going to be the fold line, and this is a flap that folds up. So if I have writing on this side, I want to score at the bottom of the writing, so when it flips up and this is what's facing, I can actually see the words straight up the right way. Okay, if you score it on this side at the top of the writing, it's going to be upside down. So make sure if you have it a directional paper that you score your 1/4 at the bottom. Okay, so let's just go ahead and do that. All right, and now you can go ahead and cut 4 more of these, and when you come back we will start putting it all together. Okay, so before we get started, let's take some inventory. I have got 5 of each of these sets. Okay, so I've got 5 5x3 wood grain, 5 5x3 patterned, 5 of these with the window, and then 5 of these with the 1/4 inch score along the bottom. Okay, this is the time where you want to chalk everything. So I'm not going to sit here and make you watch me chalking everything, but essentially this is all I do, and I like it, especially on fall, or if you want like a bit of a more rustic look. I just lightly, I don't know why I said chalk, because back in the day it used to be chalk, but now we do it with ink. So if you guys, whoever been scrapbooking for a long time, you know about the chalk. So just go ahead now, if you're going to do this, this is the time to go ahead and do that. So I'm gonna just do one more, and then I'm going to do this off camera because it's boring, and then you can come back if you want to do yours too. We will continue with the assembly. Okay, so this part we're going to do carefully together. So I want you to grab the ribbon that you're using. Okay, and we're going to start at the far side. So the first page of the album is going to be over here. This is the last page. Okay, so you can kind of decide if you want one of these cards. Actually, these aren't going to show, these are going to be on the inside, but what we're going to need for this is 2 things: your plain papers, all right, and your patterned papers. So they're going to go together back to back. So we're going to have the wood grain showing, and then this is, remember, the base for our shadow box showing, and it's going to be where the patterned paper or the shadow box base will be under your ribbon, and then this will be on top. Okay, so I'm just going to lay all of my patterned pieces down the way I want them to go. So I have Let's Get Cozy. Then I have this plain one, put it here. Have my acorns. I'm putting the side I want to see face down, okay? My pumpkins, actually now I'll use this one, it's fall, and then my pumpkins. Okay, so that's how I want those to go. And now we're gonna glue the ribbon down into the center. So, just, oops, where is my glue? Okay, just put a line of glue down the center, and you don't want to leave too much space in between, so let me just get to that in a second. So probably I would say about 1/2 inch between each card. Okay, so what I'm going to do actually first is line up the cards so I can put my glue in a straight line, and that'll be my guide. So line them up to put your glue down. You can use double-sided tape here as well if you wish. And this is not a science. It does not have to be perfect. It'll still hold together nicely. So I'm going to just separate these a little. So about just under 1/2 inch, I think. And then I'll continue putting my ribbon down. Okay. Oops. You might want to go with double-sided tape here. It's probably going to be a little stickier, but trust me, when this dries, you'll be fine. Okay. Having a little bit of trouble making it stick, so maybe my glue dried, but at least now I know where to come in and repeat some glue. I find I'm using the Nuvo glue now, which is fine, but it takes a little bit longer to dry than what I'm used to with the art glitter. So we'll just hold that down for a second. Trust me, this will be secure once it's all put together. Okay, and my last card here. Right, just leave this ribbon out for a minute. We're going to talk about that in a second. Okay, those are now stuck down. Now I'm going to cut this ribbon. It needs to wrap around this width, and I do need another piece to attach it to when it comes around. So I'm going to cut, let me see. Sorry guys, I just need to measure this for you. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to cut about 7-inch piece. So at the end of the card, just so your ribbon is long enough, I'm just going to tell you, it is a piece that is about 15 inches from edge to the front of this card, okay? And now, okay, you've got that all laid out. This one I'm going to attach here as well, because this is what I'm going to tie to when it comes around the other side. Oh wow, this Nuvo glue is really not coming out to cooperating today. So I'm just going to put this down here. I'm going to grab a little bit of tape because I want to make sure that one doesn't come out. So I'm going to put some extra reinforcement here. It's just some double-sided tape. Okay. All right, so now you have your 5 cards laid out, and now you take your plain cards or your wood grain cards and you're going to glue them right on top like that. Okay. So make sure they're lined up on all the corners. Okay, and actually maybe also a good idea to get some glue on top of the ribbon on this side too. Okay, there's our second one. Okay, almost there. And last one. Okay, so let's just cap this because it's giving me trouble. And let's just see where we're at. So this is going to fold up like that. You're going to wrap around and then tie this up. That's how it will stay together. Okay? All right, now we can do the other side. So we can flip this over. Okay, so now I have my patterns up. And first thing we're going to do is attach this flap out card. So this is going to be, so these are the cards we scored at 1/4 inch. And we're going to attach the 1/4 inch to the bottom of each card on the patterned side. Okay? So let's go ahead with that. I think I'm going to try to use my glue dispenser because I'm having a hard time with that bottle. Okay, so you're going to put glue along this 1/4 inch little flap that you cut out, and then just glue that down to the bottom of each card. That. So you might need to hold it there for a minute. So it'll give you on the other side a little trim. In some cases we're going to cover that up, but in others we're not. Okay, so go ahead now and do that with all of your pieces. On all of these cards, okay? Okay. All right, so you can pause here and just continue doing this, and then we'll come back and put in our shadow box. Okay, so you should have all your flaps attached. Now I want you to grab your shadow box. And I'm going to try to move these out of the way here. so that we can just focus in on this one. Zoom in a bit. Okay, so I have my card that I attached here, and if you look at the shadow box construction, this is how you want it folded. So what's going to happen is this 1/2 inch piece is going to be attached to the top of this card. All right, so I need that to stick there, and then this top piece, you could just pull it all the way up, and we're going to stick just this 1 inch part. So from the edge to the first score line, you will put glue and tape this to the top of your card. So when you pull it flat, it should actually sit very nicely. So let's start with the bottom. Okay, so I'm putting glue on the outside of this fold. Okay, and I'm going to stick that to the top of this card. Okay. So let me just show you. All right, and now I'm going to put glue on this piece, this 1 inch part. And I'm going to hold it flat. It should line up perfectly. We can trim it later if we need to, trim along the top a little. Okay, so now just fold everything flat along the score lines. It should look like this from the side. So when you open this, it opens up your shadow box. Let me just show you from the side, right? And when you fold it up, it folds flat. So everything should be lined up here. If you need to clean up this top edge, like you don't think they're perfectly aligned, you can just do that with your trimmer. But that's how these get attached. And now you can get, do your corners. So I'm just going to do rounded corners, but if you have like something fancy, a corner punch that you want to use, this is a good time. Once all 3 pieces are stuck together, you can punch through and make yourself a little decorative corner. So I'm just doing a little rounded corners on everything, I think. Yep. And round these corners as well. All right, so that's what we're doing here. And you can put photos in here, or in this case, for this one, I'm going to leave it blank. There's room for a photo down here. But that's what we're going to do for all of these. So let's do this one together. Let me pick what I want here. I think this looks nice. So again, putting this bottom flap down first, sticking it to the top of that bottom floating card. Okay, now fold that, put my glue only on this 1 inch piece. And then hold it flat. And just line that up. Okay, so you can see here, it's a little bit off. So I'm going to just trim that off. But for now, I'm just going to make sure everything folds up where it should. Okay. And sometimes it might be slightly off on your score lines. So that's why just press it up and make sure everything's lined up. That looks good. Okay, it will not sit perfectly flat. Okay, I think I'll use this one here. Okay. I'm losing my voice a little. Okay, so these are all done. So we're going to make sure that they all fold up nicely. Might need to work on some of the score lines. This one's a little bit off, but go. Okay, so that's essentially the base of the album, and now we can start decorating. And you can fold this, I guess, any way you like, but the important thing is that you can see the more we add and the thicker it gets, I have plenty of ribbon to deal with that. All right, so that's essentially it. So let's start decorating this a little bit now. All right, so I'm going to decorate this with you a little. I have some pieces cut out already. Remember, we had these cut out, which make very cute little pockets. We will have to trim it down a little bit. Okay, but we can make some pocket pieces. So maybe let's start over here. So I think on this one, I'm going to add a pocket piece to the bottom and then a couple of the tags. So I think also if you want to do any kind of ribbon embellishment, so I'm going to bring my pile of ribbon over and take a look at, is there anything in here? So kind of like that, or you can use twine. So this would be a good time to start thinking about adding little bits of ribbon and such. So I will leave this one plain for now just so I can show you. So I'm going to trim down the sides of this one and attach it as a pocket, because it's just slightly bigger than I need. Oh, I'm going to do a little trim. Okay, so I'm going to put that here. Okay, and then the little tags that come in the kit fit perfectly into there. So we can punch a hole and put some ribbon here, which I will do later, but let's just, depending on which pattern you like, well, like this one, a bit of a monochromatic look, so you can stick that in there. So that's one piece. I had shown you, I have a bunch of stickers and ephemera left as well, so we can use some of these up as well. So I'm going to maybe sticker down here. Autumn is calling. Maybe. That's a little bit big for there. Okay, so that's this side. Now you can also, you're going to embellish this side too. So there's lots you can do here. So on this piece, I think I'm going to use some of the ephemera. You can also use stickers. If you don't have ephemera, you can just put baby powder on the back of your stickers to get the stickiness off and use them. So I'm just going to take these out so I can see what I've got. there's lots of little bits and pieces here. Ooh, I love that. I'm going to use that somewhere. But I think we'll go here. I'm going to put a photo back there, so I don't want to block too much of that. So probably going to use some small bits. Maybe this leaf. This little So Cozy. I'm going to put that up there. Actually, I think I'll use this one. So Very Blessed. Okay, and I'm going to go with something a little smaller. A couple of leaves down here. And they can stick out the side. Okay, and now we can do something on the other side as well. So I'm going to grab one of these cards. This is a really great way to use up your embellishments too. Some of the ephemera that it comes with, I find sometimes I don't end up using it all. And I think I'll put a sticker up there. That's too long. There. And now we can even make either a photo mat here to hold a 3x4 picture, or you can create a pocket there, whatever you like. Okay, I just realized I should punch my corners before I inked this, so just go back and re-ink a little bit. Not a big deal. Okay, so you get the picture of how we can decorate this little guy, and it is really a cute little album. So it is Merry Mini, so it's not for a million photos, as you can see, but definitely gives you options. So that's going to be our first page, probably this way, right? So you can see if you want other little embellishments on here. But it's so cute. It is really, really, really cute. Cider and donuts. I have to use this somewhere. I think I'll put it over here. So you can also pop things up. If you have, I'm looking for my double-sided tape right now. There we go. So I think I'll pop this guy up. So this is my foam tape. Okay, so I think maybe I want a little card on there just to make it pop. Let me find one. Put this one here. That. I'm going to punch a hole in that. So I didn't bring my hole punch with me down here, but I'm just going to, use my glue. You got to learn to improvise sometimes. But I promise you I'll do the other ones properly. Okay, so I just want to get a hole in there. Grab a bit of my ribbon. I think I'm going to use some twine for this one. So I usually fold it in half and pull it through. Whoops, oh my. Okay, so we've got that in there. We can trim that down. I'm going to chalk up the edges a little just to give it that kind of rustic look. Again, I said chalk, ink. And the other side, the top at least, because this is what we'll be showing, peeking out. So I can stick this down here. Okay, there's that, and I think we'll just do one more together, and then you guys can decorate the rest however you wish. Okay, so I'm thinking on this side, I'll probably do up another little pocket. So I'm using these little cards because they are the perfect size width, height-wise. You just need to trim off a bit on the sides. Okay, so I'm going to put that pocket here. I am going to actually ink the edges of this one too. Okay, so just put glue on the 3 sides. Like so. Okay, now this one, another card will go in there, but I'm going to wait till it dries. Right, and I can grab my bushel of apples. And what else? I like this apple jam. We'll just pop this one up. There, and maybe some words. I keep wanting to use these words. We'll use grateful. So this feels a little tight because I put my glue too much to the side. If that happens to you, you can either leave it and don't put it in all the way, because like I said, I actually like the way this looks when there's little bits and pieces sticking out. Or you can just trim a sliver off the side. So not too much because you don't want to throw off the balance of the tag, but there you go. But do make sure you keep your glue just to the very edges. Okay, I love this. This is so cute. Now even here we can do something interesting. We can grab one of these cards. Let's ink it up. Maybe I'll use this darker colored one. Maybe this one. So I'm going to attach this and it'll be another little flip down, which you can journal or do whatever you like. So let me just ink this one up. Okay, I'm going to score right across this line here, because that's where I want this to fold. So sorry, I'm scoring off camera. Let me bring that over here. Okay, so I'm just going to score this card right across this line. I'm going to attach it right here. Okay, and then maybe what I'll use here is one of these little tabs. And put the other one on the other side. Cute. So I'm going to pause here. I'm going to keep decorating, and then I'll come back and show you the finished product. All right, so here's the finished product. Let me do a little bit of a slower walkthrough of what I did with the rest of the decorating. So we did a little bit together, but then I just kept going and did the rest myself. You can fold this either way. So you can see in the beginning I had it folded one way. Now I have it folded another. All you care about is that you have your two ribbons on the side and that one can wrap around and you can tie a bow. So either you can tie it on the left or the right, depending on which way you want to fold and what you want on the front cover. So let me just start to open this up. So here's, actually I'm going to open the whole thing so we can just look at it piece by piece. So let's look at this side first. So this is the side with my little peekaboo boxes, we'll call them. So if I stand this up, you can actually probably see it better. So little shadow boxes all around. Oh, let me just maybe do that so you can see how it kind of sits. Not that I would put it on display like this, but I just want to show you. All right, and let's just kind of go through each one and what I did. So here's the first one. I had to use this cider and donuts cart. So this is just stuck on here with a little bit of tape. I think we did this one together, so you know all about it. Then we have the inside, and wherever I had a shadow box, I tried to kind of put something to make it be a bit more 3D. Okay, then down here at the bottom, I made a flap, which we did together, I believe. I just put some more decorations on that. So that's that one. On the other side, I put in a little pocket, so you have room for some photos or some notes. I mean, this is so cute. I don't know if I actually want to put anything in it. I just sometimes like making these things. I put a couple of fall photos because there is room for that. All right, here's the second page. So I added this flap to the bottom so we have extra space. Here's some for journaling or photos. Then we open up and I added, so here you can see I have the shadow box with the little pumpkin cart again. And then I just put in some ephemera around to make it pop. And then on the bottom, I have added this little one of these journaling cards. I just attached it. So I scored a 1/4 inch along the top and I attached it to the top here. So it flips open and I have more space for embellishments and photos. All right, let's see, the back of that one is just another card I stuck to the top again to create some more space and to use up these 3x4 cards because like I said, I'm trying to use up my the rest of the kit. All right, so we're on to page 3, and here I just put a strip of patterned paper and I popped up this embellishment here that was in the ephemera pack. And then we open up and we have space. I didn't do anything in here because I might put a photo, right? And then here I have a little pocket. So I put one of the cards that was the center of this piece. So I stuck in one of the cards, and then that's actually holding down this little flap. So this is something I do a lot in my mini albums, but that gives us a little bit extra space, plus anything interactive really makes my day. All right, let's look at the back of that one. So the back of this one is the same idea. So I took 2 of these and I just inked them and put in some twine and ribbon, and then This is one of the 3x4 cards. This is a sticker from the sticker sheet, but you'll see what I did is I cut the card along the bottom, about an inch along the bottom, so I could use that as a pocket, and then the top of the card is the flap. So I like that. It gives some continuity. I think that looks really cute. All right, where are we now? We are on page 4. So page 4 is just a tag that I put this big gather together from the embellishment pack, from the ephemera pack on, and then we just have a place for a photo. It flips open. You open this way, and I've got a lot going on here. So let's start in the center. So there's my shadow box. All right. Sorry, this is, it's cute, but it's a little finicky with the ribbon. Okay, there's my shadow box. So that opens up. And then I put this card down here just because I thought it matched. So that's just a 3x4 card. And then when we flip it open, we have a few things happening. So down here, I took a piece of the ephemera, and I stuck this, I glued it down here with this grateful sticker on top, and that's just a place where you can tuck a little note card in or whatever. And then up here again, I've used the 3x4 cut aparts, and I created this flap and then this, so I have room for journaling and some photos too. So I will probably end up putting some photos in here. Let's just take a look at the back of that one. So this, all I did was decorate it, so there'll be no room for photos here, just some of the stickers and from the ephemera pack again. And then the last page, I used this little squirrel, it's just so cute. And then we open up, and again, this is empty for photos, but I didn't pop these out, I just stuck these on to the frame so that when the photo's back there, it looks cute, just framed up. And then on the bottom, something different, I did a belly band. Okay, so this was one of the cut apart sheets. I just put glue on each side, I popped up some ephemera, and then tucked in these tags. All right, so that's it, guys. It was so much fun to make. Like I said, you might use it for photos, you might not. You can fold it a million different ways depending on what you want on the front cover. Oh, I just folded it the other way now. All that matters again is I'm going to bring the ribbon around and tie it up here. That's why we had 2 bits of ribbon sticking out the side. So guys, I hope that you enjoyed this cute little project. It is a great way to use up scraps and extra ephemera. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'm constantly trying to come up with new ideas. So if you guys have ideas for things you want me to do, or even a new paper line that you want me to create something with, drop it in the comments below. I read everything, and I'm super appreciative of you guys watching my content. So thanks so much. Have an awesome day, and happy fall, y'all.